Your brain is not your friend. It is a biological survival machine designed for a world that no longer exists. While you dream of freedom, wealth, and impact, your subconscious is actively working to keep you broke, tired, and stuck. Why? Because to your primitive mind, rich is dangerous and poor is safe. The comfort you crave is actually a cage that is slowly suffocating your future. Today we are going to expose the evolutionary glitch that is keeping you in the shadows. We are going to dismantle the architecture of your poverty and learn how the architect of self rebuilds from the ruins of comfort. Welcome to the war for your destiny. For thousands of years, the primary goal of the human brain was simple: conserve energy and avoid risk. In the ancestral environment, any sudden movement or new territory could lead to death. This ancient programming is still running in your head today, but it hasn't updated for the modern world. Your brain sees your ambitious goals starting a business, investing in your education, or breaking a generational cycle as a threat to your survival. It triggers a physical response of anxiety and lethargy to force you back into the safe zone of mediocrity. This is the biology of poverty. When you stay in bed instead of working on your project, your brain rewards you with a hit of dopamine for saving energy. When you choose the distracting scroll of social media over the difficult work of self-mastery, your brain thinks it has successfully avoided a dangerous exertion. This is the comfort trap. It feels like peace, but it is actually the silence of decay. If you are not pushing against the walls of your current reality, you are shrinking. The architect of self understands that the feeling of comfort is the most dangerous signal a human can receive. It is the anesthetic that makes you smile while your potential is being stolen by time. You must learn to treat comfort as an enemy. You must train your mind to associate the safe path with the slow death of your soul. Success requires a radical break from your biological instincts. It requires you to consciously override the survival software that wants to keep you small, hidden, and broke. We don't just inherit DNA. We inherit blueprints of scarcity. Most of us were raised in environments where money is the root of all evil, or where wealthy people are lucky or dishonest. These are not just phrases. They are structural beams in the architecture of your mind. By the time you are 20, you have a deep-seated psychological floor that determines how much you believe you are allowed to earn. If you suddenly make more money than your blueprint allows, you will subconsciously find a way to lose it. You will sabotage a deal, overspend on a whim, or simply stop working. This is the invisible ceiling of the self. Your mind wants to keep you consistent with the people you love and the group you belong to. To be wealthy when your peers are struggling feels like a betrayal to the tribe. Your brain would rather keep you poor and connected than rich and isolated. To break this, you must realize that you are not a tenant in your family's history. You are the architect. You have the right to demolish the scarcity mindset and replace it with a blueprint of abundance. This requires you to face the guilt of outgrowing your environment. It requires you to realize that you can help more people from a position of power than you ever could from a position of lack. You must aggressively identify the limiting beliefs that act as the pillars of your poverty. Every time you say, "I can't afford that," or "that's not for people like me," you are reinforcing the walls of your own prison. Change your language, and you will begin to change the structure of your reality. Your brain is addicted to the familiar. Every time you repeat a habit of failure, you are strengthening a neural pathway. Eventually, these pathways become highways, and your life begins to run on autopilot. This is why you feel a pullback to your old life every time you try to change. It is literally a chemical withdrawal. Your brain is used to the stress of being broke. It is used to the adrenaline of the last-minute crisis. It has built a neurochemical home in your struggle. The architect of self recognizes that change is a physical reconstruction of the brain. You are not just thinking differently, you are rewiring your nervous system. This is why the first few weeks of any major change feel like hell. Your brain is screaming for its old hits of dopamine and cortisol. It wants the comfort of the struggle it knows. To overcome this, you must become a master of your internal chemistry. You must learn to find pleasure in the effort, not just the result. You must fall in love with the grind of construction. Every time you choose the hard path, you are laying a new wire in your brain. Over time, excellence becomes the new autopilot. Wealth becomes the new familiar. But you must be willing to endure the construction zone, the period of chaos and discomfort where the old structure is gone but the new one isn't finished yet. Most people quit here. They see the dust and the mess and they run back to their old rotting house. You must be different. You must have the vision to see the palace while you are still standing in the rubble. The comfort trap is reinforced by the people around you. Humans are social animals, and we have a deep-seated fear of being cast out. When you decide to stop being poor, you are implicitly criticizing the choices of everyone who decided to stay that way. Your growth is a mirror that shows them their own stagnation. Because of this, the people you love will often be the ones who try hardest to pull you back into the trap. They will tell you to be realistic, to stay safe, or to not forget where you came from. This is the architecture of conformity. It is a social cage designed to keep the herd together. But the architect of self knows that the top of the mountain is not crowded. You cannot reach the heights while carrying the weight of everyone else's expectations. You must be willing to let go. This doesn't mean you stop loving people, but it means you stop taking directions from people who are lost. If you want a life that 99% of people don't have, you must be willing to do what 99% of people won't do, including being misunderstood, being lonely, and being judged. Your environment either feeds your vision or it poisons it. There is no middle ground. You must curate your social architecture with the same precision you use for your mental blueprint. Surround yourself with people who make your extraordinary feel normal. If you are the smartest and most ambitious person in the room, you are in the wrong room. Move. Build a new circle. Your destiny is too important to be sacrificed on the altar of other people's comfort. The final tool of the architect is radical ownership. You must accept that your current bank account, your current health, and your current mindset are the direct results of the blueprints you have followed up to this point. If you hate the building, stop blaming the materials. Start looking at the architect. Radical ownership is the only way to gain power over your life. As long as you blame the economy, your boss, or your upbringing, you are giving them the power to determine your future. You are a victim, and victims are never rich. To break the comfort trap, you must take the chisel and the hammer into your own hands. This means discipline. Discipline is the structure that allows freedom to exist, without a rigid framework of habits and standards. Your life will collapse into a heap of somedays and could-have buns. You must build a daily routine that serves your highest self. You must manage your time as if it were more valuable than gold, because it is. The architect of self does not wait for inspiration. He shows up at the construction site every single day, regardless of how he feels. He knows that feelings are the tools of the comfort trap. Action is the tool of the master. Every decision you make is either a stone placed on the monument of your success or a crack in the foundation of your future. Choose your stones wisely. The reconstruction of your life will be the hardest thing you ever do, but it is the only thing worth doing. Stop being a tenant in a life of lack. It is time to build. The comfort trap is a choice you make every single day. You can choose the warm, suffocating blanket of the status quo, or you can choose the cold, bracing wind of your own potential. Your brain will always scream for safety, but your soul will always hunger for greatness. Listen to the hunger. The blueprints have been laid out before you. The architecture of failure has been exposed. Now you must decide if you have the courage to pick up the tools and begin the work. Subscribe to the Architect of Self, and let's stop dreaming about a better life and start building one. The construction begins now.